Welcome to episode 32 of the Chopping Block podcast, you guys.
What's up? Hey guys.
32. I wanted to name this episode and make some kind of Shaq Fu reference or call it You Can't Stop the Rain. And then I was like, You Can't Stop the Rain could also kind of be an allusion and joke and metaphor for WAP. So that would be really funny. But then, I just really felt like it would have went over everybody's head. And I just really want y'all to let bitches breathe. But I didn't want to, we didn't want to put that in the title. Let bitches breathe, bro. Like, please let us be. Please. All right. So let's start with why don't I see you, Ciz? Fuck. Okay, there you are. Let's start with Belcalis, Almanzar, whatever Offset's last name is. What is it? Fishes? Scalfis? I don't know. Let's start with the prophetess Cardi B, the deaconess of the Bronx community, and this great gift that she gave us. As somebody pointed out, that song is a love song. When a married woman is singing about all of the things that she's going to do to a man, that is a love song.
Oh, absolutely.
And y'all should respect it as such. So yeah, Cardi B dropped this song with Megan Thee Stallion. It's called WAP. WAP is an acronym. Not stand for worship and praise. It doesn't stand for, hold on, because some school actually posted it as something, and I was like, are y'all really going to use this to promote school content? Y'all, it does not stand for wings and pizza, Domino's. The Domino's was ready with that damn ad. Did you see that?
They did. That was like super quick.
Like the minute the song. Like,
somebody got a promotion for that tweet.
The next day. What's the other? I'm trying to find the school that said online work will be graded, uniforms mandatory, WAP equals we ain't playing. That's not what it means, teachers. Stop trying to be cool. It doesn't stand for we are producers or we are productive. It could stand for whack ass pussy also, I guess.
It could.
But but that's not what it stands for.
Here's a question. Did you hear no, I'll save that for later.
We're not gonna talk about Safari. We're not giving Safari no. We gonna do Safari like I do my dog when she starts showing us some shit she's not supposed to. No.
Yeah,
so on behalf of Shay from New Rochelle and all women everywhere, I just want to know, why are y'all so mad?
I hope y'all got that reference, because I did. So okay. First of all, let's talk about what happened, right? Cardi and Meg did that thing that we wanted them to do, right? This is the thing we've been waiting on, right? We've been talking about it. We mentioned it previously. Like, these two need to get together and do a record. Like, this is the one.
Yep.
And when we got a hint of it, it was like, oh crap, it's coming. And boy, did it come. And I mean, talk about breaking the internet.
We have been in lockdown since March. Some of us to a tighter degree than others. Ciz and I have produced over 20 episodes of the show during lockdown. Which means that for 20 motherfucking weeks, we've somehow found music to talk about. And it wasn't all protest music. Even the week of all of those riots, when people were dropping protest songs left and right, we found bops, we found ratchet music, we found drug music. Why was this week the week that niggas wanted to know why artists are not releasing more responsible music?
What? Okay, like I said, okay, there's the conversation around what happened, which is the thing, and we're in this weird space where the complainers get a table. But I don't. I mean, we could talk about the complainers table, but most of the internet and most of the people are just enjoying this record and this video,
Good.
and that's the actual consensus.
So now's a good time for me to just say that the record didn't do a lot for me. It wasn't trash. I wasn't disappointed. If I had somewhere to go, I would definitely enjoy turning up to it with my friends. And by somewhere to go, I mean the basement at L Bar. Because where else I go? But yeah, it wasn't like Savage, the Savage remix that I wanted to listen to on repeat for me.
Yeah, I've been singing "There's Some Hoes in This House" randomly all week. So,
Right, the beat is great. The beat, I think the beat is probably my favorite part of the whole thing.
well, this I'll file this under the not gonna overanalyze category of music that I love so much because it's I mean, imagine if we analyze stuff like
But that's the thing.
like
I'm not trying to analyze it. I'm
like
not
I
saying
like
there's
big
a
butts and I
reason
cannot
why.
lie.
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm just
no. It's
saying.
not a reason. It's not like there's a reason why I don't like it. It's not like I'm saying, oh, the bars weren't this or whatever. I'm just saying it didn't hit me like how I would have wanted it to hit me, but I don't hate it. I don't think it was trash. I don't think any of that. Like, there's not no, deep thought process behind why I was just like, oh, this is okay.
Well, the entirety of WAP has hit the entire record industry because it is on its way to smashing all types of records.
The video already got YouTube's highest premiere for a video with an all female collaboration. It got 26.6 million views in 24 hours. We already know Cardi actually went and started an OnlyFans
Which I will
to
be
relieve,
joining.
particularly to release like behind the scenes footage and additional footage from WAP. She says she's also going to use it to, share intimate details of her life, but don't expect to see her naked on there.
$4.99.
Right. She went back last night and said she just realized that it was set to $10 originally, and she's not going to do that because the fans have been, buying vinyl, and
Her merch sold out
she's
so
getting ready to
fast.
to release some more merch. Um, I
Yeah.
love and hate. I love the fact that they really put a lot of thought into the marketing of this song, and that it's all being um obstructed. Which, I mean, I guess like in the grand scheme of things, the marketing, like it serves the same purpose, but that this conversation, this respectability politics conversation, is really kind of overshadowed the fact that like they had an online discussion about women's sexuality in which she invited some of the other girls that were featured in the video.
hmm
Um, there was this merch released. Um, interestingly enough, the video czar, the person that kind of pulled this video together, was somebody who was also involved in the tip drill video. So I thought that was really cool.
That's smart.
Um, but yeah, I love the moment. I love the video. I think the video is super, super dope. I enjoyed the beat. I would definitely like this would definitely be a song that would get me and my homegirls cutting up on the dance floor if I was outside. Am I adding it to a playlist? No.
Well, yeah, it might not be walk around your house music, but
Right.
um,
Even
you
when you
know,
live
I,
by yourself.
I don't want the conversation. Like, it's weird that we live in a time where the minority has a louder voice than the majority, because clearly, judging by the numbers and judging by the responses, and actually watching comments and not just paying attention to what the media is trying to perpetuate, because the media is trying to perpetuate the thing that they can get clicks off of. So you're gonna have the Breakfast Club doing these interviews with city girls where they're asking about the male female thing because they want to eat off of that divide. They want to eat off of that topic, right? But in the meantime, the rest of us are just having fun with the song and the video. I mean, it's just like everything turns into this deep political discussion. Well, what about this and what about that? Listen, they said what they said. The video's out. I guarantee you in the streets, for people that don't give a shit about COVID-19, they are partying. I know if I was back in the hood in Philly, I would hear this shit bouncing out of every car and every little nightclub or corner bar that's supposed to be shut down. I know that's what it is. That's the actual energy on the ground level. But the internet is not the ground level. We got to remember that.
But here's the thing. I don't think it's fair to dismiss it as it's just the people on the internet complaining, because the people on the internet are so real life people. And so the people on the internet, um, depending on who you follow, certain things are going to be amplified, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Um,
if you follow complaining ass niggas, then you're gonna see complaining
no, no, no,
ass shit.
I'm not even just saying if you follow complaining ass niggas. Like you follow, like it's just
I don't think that the complaining. What I'm saying is the complaining is not louder than the people who are enjoying it. It's just that's the thing. Like it's just like anything. People who dissent are always louder than people who are enjoying something. Because if you're having fun, you're too busy having fun to bitch about shit.
right, and that's yeah,
People
and
who
that's
bitch
across the
about
board for
shit, they
anything.
come.
Like when
They're
you
like, oh, I'm
when
gonna hop on the internet to complain. Like this is
a
why I'm here.
a consumer with a negative experience is going to tell 100 people, but a consumer with a positive experience might tell 10. So that's just that's laws of customer service regardless across the board.
To quote,
I
to
just
quote Sean Corey Carter, men
the
lie,
the
women
hypocrisy of
lie.
it for me was really where it was at. Like, come on, y'all. Like, come on.
But yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying? Like,
people profit off that hypocrisy. Like this ain't the first time that we've had this discussion about people being hypocrites about what women can do, versus what men can do. We've been having this conversation since another rapper besides Nicki Minaj got popular again, and that's not to say that
that's
we
so
didn't have it
for
before.
me. For me, that's kind of the conversations that I'm more interested in having. Is the fact that like anytime one female rapper does something, the only time that people get on the internet and start advocating for female rappers is anytime that one female rapper does something that you don't like. Tierra Whack was the only American rapper not named Sean Corey Carter to be featured on Black is King.
Hmm.
To be featured on the album. I mean, unless you want to count Pharrell as a rapper. Oh no, Kendrick's on the album. And Kendrick is on the song "Denial," but he wasn't in the actual footage for Black is King. Um, like, there's two women on the XXL Freshman cover this year. There were three last year.
Hmm.
Y'all love to pull Rhapsody into this shit. I hate to tell y'all that Rhapsody is a black girl from South Carolina. I promise you, she enjoys this fucking song. I promise you, as a black girl
Appreciate your
reared in
appreciation.
Florida, I promise you that she enjoys this motherfucking song. And if you've ever seen Rhapsody on stage, you know that Rhapsody was twerking to the song in her house, just like the rest of us. But this is the first time I am a black woman who has been like influenced by and a fan of black female rappers from the very beginning of my career. That's where I got my name from, was because of a black female rapper. This is the first time where we can have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chicks out here doing the damn thing, and even the ones that are in the same lane are not blocking each other. Like y'all, and I credit Meg largely for this, because initially Cardi was getting pulled into the bullshit, but these women have finally all stood up and been like, no, like, you're not gonna pit us against each other. We support each other. We'll pop up in each other's videos. We'll play each other's songs. We'll tell y'all to go listen to each other's songs. Like, we're not doing this shit with y'all. This is the
Well,
first time
to be
in.
honest, Cardi's always been on that type of time. I
Mhm.
mean, beside Cardi's always had that energy about her. Besides actual real life issues, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't help like what happens in the street
Right.
and two people actually don't like each other or something pops up or whatever. But her energy has always been supportive. But that's not the narrative that sells papers. You know what I'm saying? So
But
that's
that's what I'm
really
saying. Like, I don't think it's just about a narrative that sells papers anymore. Like, these are, because the conversations I was seeing was not on nobody's website. These are actual people having these conversations. I just
yeah. But these
also, as a
conversations,
journalist,
are driven by, hey guys, here's the news cycle.
right. But I, as a journalist, am also tired of everybody being like, oh, it's the media. Because it's not always the fucking media. Like, sometimes we're reporting on
Eh,
the shit that y'all say.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's like if I'm sitting with a post and I'm trying to figure out the hashtag, or if I'm trying to figure out like, hey, what am I going to talk about that's going to be more provocative so we can get clicks? At this point, the media needs to accept, and it might not be individual journalists or whatever, but the media has chosen AdSense dollars over actual journalism,
And
and
I'm
that
telling you that in 29, I'm telling you that in 2020, it's happening the opposite way.
I don't
They
agree.
are basing their headlines. These niggas are not doing no work. They're not driving conversation. They caught on to that Jaguar right shit a full 3-4 days after a whole community of former a full week almost after she made her original post, a full 3-4 days after a community of former OK player people were online talking about it. And this is coming from somebody who's worked on both sides of the fence. I'm telling you, like, they're not driving the conversations happening on Twitter. They're pulling the conversations from Twitter and turning those into posts. That's what they're doing now, for the
Well,
most part.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but they're choosing what to pull because they're not pulling the good
Yeah.
conversations. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, if they're getting their conversations from Twitter, they're still picking and choosing the ones that are spicy. They're not saying, "Oh, hey, look, let's post about all this positivity," because negative sells faster, just like it always has. And if the media is a part of the perpetuation, no matter where they get it from, they're still complicit.
Anyway, CeeLo ran his mouth and quickly got reminded that we're ignoring his whole predatory past. CeeLo and Designer both win the Man All You Had to Do Was Drop Off Your Music and Go award for this week. Designer had sat down long enough for us to forget that he tried to be Future Junior. Drops a song and turns around and says, "What did he say? That COVID-19 is not real."
COVID-19 is not real.
Um,
Imagine
CeeLo
being from New York City,
from New
where all
York
these people have
City.
died more than any other place in the world, and you saying COVID-19 ain't real. Imagine being
Because
from
you can't
Brooklyn.
get it. Because you didn't get it.
Imagine. Because I know he knows somebody who died from it. Everybody I know, every family member I got in New York is traumatized because they know somebody who had it and they probably know somebody who died from
Right.
it. And this nigga gonna get on the internet
The internet.
and say that bullshit.
CeeLo completely lost all of the career traction that he had gotten from the Nas Barkley era because of his accusation of sexual assault.
Mhm.
And then, like, I think in the midst of his trial, jumped on Twitter and was like, "Oh, if you don't remember if you were really raped, you would have remembered what happened." Um,
I'm over this.
the internet, like, somehow this shit quieted down to the point that he was able to get back on The Voice, which really means that it just had never gotten to white people's ears for real. Because the minute he got to The Voice, if they would have known about it, they would have been like, not that guy. And then he puts out an album. We said it was a pretty deep. Well, I never listened to the full album. I listened to a couple songs off the album, and it was pretty decent. And then here he comes this week talking about how things become gimmicky and whoop de woo and blah blah blah. So then he went on Twitter yesterday and said that the quote was misconstrued and that he considers Cardi and Offset like family, and he would never have anything negative to say.
Oh, what exactly did he say? Because I ignored the whole thing as soon as I saw he was involved.
That's
Because I
so
mean,
he
I'm just
said. Hold on, let me pull it up. He called modern music personally and morally disappointing. He said there was once a time when we were savvy enough to code certain things. We could express it to those it was meant for with the style of language we use. But now music is shameless. It is sheer savagery. We are adults. There should be a time and a place for adult content.
what?
And then he said that people like Nicki Minaj, who he referred to as heads of state, he says she's up there in accolades, success, visibility, a platform to influence. Nicki could be effective in so many other constructive ways, but it feels desperate. You would think that a nigga from Dungeon Family would be the king of understanding that you can do many things with your music.
I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe other people would. But it's generally niggas like that who happen to have the worst fucking opinions on everything.
So yeah, that was his take on it. That we used to code certain things, but I'm like, come on, man.
What did we code? I mean, come
Well, you
on.
know, he's saying like, I mean, you know,
Bullshit.
obviously, like it's not like Akinelli made a song about fellatio called "Put It in Your Mouth." You know, like that would be too much.
Which they actually played on the radio. I heard that record on the radio when I was a child.
I heard that unedited version of that record in Haiti. And it was hilarious because my uncle and my aunt didn't seem to know what was happening in the song. And my aunt
Mm.
was just bopping her head, patting her knee. She doesn't speak English. And I'm sitting in the back seat, like mortified. No, I think he was referring to, uh, you know, I mean, there's a bunch of songs where they don't directly call things what they're actually about, right? Like um, Marvin Gaye has a song called Funk Me, Funk. He has another song, the song that was sampled for American Dreamin'. I'm the person where whenever I get ready to say something contrarian or express an opinion, I make sure that I'm wrong, that I'm right. If there's a way for me to Google the shit that I'm about to say, like I don't want to be out here sounding stupid.
Right.
So I try to go and find things. Somebody went on this whole, like I was so annoyed about it. I was not even annoyed. I laughed at it heartily. She said something like she misses when a woman said this, okay? That she misses when female rappers had substance and she misses Lauryn Hill. And in her comments, somebody posted his Apple Music account with the covers for Rhapsody's last two albums. And this woman who misses Substance and Lauryn Hill said, bet I'm going to check her out. Somebody put you on to Rhapsody in 2020, my nigga?
I don't know. I mean,
You're
you know.
into Substance and you don't know who.
So
I hate y'all.
here's what I figured out on Facebook this week. And not just Facebook, but we'll just use Facebook because it's the worst place. I figured out that people our age have no actual, like they're okay with lying about their past. Like we're at the point where they just want to
Oh, wait, hold
romanticize.
on. Mikey said we need to pause for technical difficulties real quick. Can we keep
Like,
going with the audio, Mikey?
yeah, because I'm still recording.
Okay. My bad. So
So
yeah, you were saying that people our age are at a point where
we're at a point where we romanticize and lie about our past, right? I've seen people lie about. I saw a guy say, "Yeah, you know, my OGs, they told us to scrap. We were supposed to scrap instead of shoot people." I'm like, "Where'd you grow up, dude? Did you grow up in Philly? Because we shot a lot of people in the 80s and 90s. So what OGs are you talking about? You
right.
talking about your OGs back in the 60s and 70s when they were stabbing each other in gang wars. You grew up in the crack era with Uzis and shit. So what are you talking about? It's weird watching people pretend that things were a certain way when we know they weren't that way.
Right.
Like it's weird watching people just grip. It's like the hip hop argument. People like, yo, lyricism. I'm like, clap your hands, everybody. Like I'm like, you know, some of the most like rap started out as party jams.
Chim chimney, chim chim cheree, flow like water and feel fancy free.
Oh, and you're you know, you were being nice about it. I'm gonna go all the way back to, you know, to the hip, the hop, the hippie to the hippity. You know what I mean? Like hip hop
Right.
rap started with us like MCing the party, you know, connecting with the crowd. It wasn't about lyrics. So everything doesn't have to be a lyrical exercise. Everything's not, that's one portion of hip hop. We're not going to pretend like that's the basis on which hip hop is. You don't do this, you don't do that. But I've realized that it's just something that you do as you get older. You
But see,
literally just
what bugs
you just
me
wish away the bad parts of your life and say, "This is what I wish was the truth."
what bugs me when it comes to these rap opinions is that it's starting to get now to where it's not just people our age. One, the popular thing to do is to say that all current music is trash, which is bullshit. And
I
for
don't know if
me,
people that are of this era have that opinion. I think
the young
it's
lady who was complaining about missing substance was definitely like under 35.
yeah, well, that's not this era.
But no, I mean, but even like, in this era, there are niggas out there who are super Griselda fans who want to shit on everybody
Oh, of
else. And
course,
they
but
might be 22 years
but
old. You know what I'm saying?
they're being led by 45-year-olds.
And when we were coming up, there were definitely people who were, like Quali and Common fans who wanted to hate on whatever, shiny
I don't
suits.
know. Well, I'll say in 1993, I could turn on the radio and hear the Jungle Brothers and Onyx right after each other,
Yes.
and that was a completely different time. You could hear DMX, you could hear all these different eras. You get different codes. You could hear different types of music,
That
and they all coexisted together.
right.
So
And
yeah,
that's the part
people had their favorites, but
and that's the part where I will give people nowadays is that now, unfortunately, because the corporate side of music has moved the way that it's moved, the radio, the exposure to music is very homogenous. Absolutely. Um, we know, and I've been on this journey personally myself for the last 8 years or so, that there's a shit ton of great music out there to be found that you're just not going to find on the radio or even BET jams. I haven't watched in a really long time, but at one point they were good with that. Like you would get your block of super popular records, but you would also get blocks of like regional records. They would do a first song, most recent song block, where they would play like whatever artist's first song and then they would play whatever had just dropped. So yeah, the mainstream exposure is different. But yeah, there were definitely niggas back then that were like,
oh, I mean, you had pockets, but it wasn't like the popular opinion. It was because music was much more widespread and variety. Everybody's got their personal thing. Like, even in rock, you had, oh, I'm a punk fan, or I'm a metalhead, or whatever. So people always dip into their genres. But
and that's the part I
nowadays,
think.
it's a little bit different when you look back on the history of it. Like, if you look at people like the Lowhead, like, I can look at somebody and tell like, I can be like, oh, okay, that's what you like because you fit that, you check all those boxes. Like it's like walking into a voting booth and just be like, oh, Democrat all the way down. You do this, you do
um
that, you wear this, you eat that, you go here, this is where you party. Like, I got you, I read you.
and I just really be wanting people to like actually go and seek out the music before you say that there's no good music out there. When I was pulling the list of music for this week, there was a bunch of people I clicked on where I would normally not have clicked on. Um, and I didn't enjoy the songs per se. The songs weren't great, but the songs weren't trash. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that I was willing to go and try and listen to the songs. And the point is that, like, for example, Lil Keed had this video, which I thought was super creative. The song just wasn't because we have a limited amount of shit that we could talk about. Um, so it wasn't strong enough to make the cut compared to the other shit. But the video is super creative. It's him, and he has apparently. Well, I don't know if this is who he performs with all the time, but in this video, he has a rock band backing him up, and he's acting very Mick Jaggerish for the whole video. I thought that was super creative. I feel like um, there's something to be celebrated about Little Keed, who is a street rapper from Atlanta, even having the foresight to make that kind of a video. So I just want people to just, like before you start saying shit, like go and fucking try to find it because it's really not even that hard to find.
These people aren't, they say like as you get older, you don't become the primary consumer or curator of music. So, I mean, I'm starting to see it. If you're a marketer or if you're in music, your demographic that you're searching for is going to constantly be that younger audience, that 13 to maybe 25, because those are the people that are really out here still actively in the music. I think at the later point, people don't listen to music as much. They just don't. It's not the soundtrack to their life that it was when they were younger. So maybe they're just not out here Actively
And niggas
seeking
like
music careers.
somebody said to me, who is so sad. Niggas trying to holler, and I tried to let him make it. There were a lot of like conspiracy theory is things that were said in passing, like kind of like I'm gonna put it out there and see how you respond. Like almost like you know how they have these secret societies and like you'll see in the movies where they'll say something that's coded to see how you respond to it so that they can tell if they can go on with the conversation. So he made a couple of those type statements and I let him rock. And then he was like, all the new music today is trash. The only thing I listen to is Griselda. And I was like, yeah, this is where I get off.
But Griselda sounds just like music I listened to growing up. And that,
Not,
you know, I
like I listened to, I think it's one song on there, um, that I put, there's a song on today's list of music that I went through from, the Black Mafia, it's not Black Mafia feeling, one of the niggas in the
BSF,
so
Black
bad.
Soprano Family. To my BSF.
Yes.
I got you.
And it was really good. But while I was listening to it, I was like, nigga, I don't want to listen to this all the time. You don't want to listen to that all the time. Stop
So,
fronting.
but here's the thing. Like, those are my favorite Stuck in '96 niggas and their kids. Okay. Um, I love Ghostface, one of my favorite rappers ever. When I listen to Griselda, especially when I listen to West Side Gun, he sounds like a watered down version of the Purple Tape. His vocals, all his song ideas.
Boom, 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 boom. I don't know how y'all don't, that does not drive y'all crazy.
So, you know, and don't get me wrong, I fuck with Griselda. Like, I enjoy their vibe, but I know that vibe already. I grew up with that vibe. So when you hear it, it's like, you know, we were really upset about Action Bronson,
Really?
but
Very.
we're cool, you know, with West Side Gun and you know making some Supreme Clientele. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not ever gonna let you get away with that one, dog. Like, and his projects are getting better and better. And I'm really enjoying his music. But you know, Conway and Benny are my guys. But that vibe is very, very, very 1996. It's very put on your polo rugby. It's like it's super, super, super contrived. I'm sorry. It is. And the fans of that music, I knew you'd be the fans of that music, dog. I could section off the people I know in my personal life from Philly who would be fans of that. I could say, all y'all niggas like Griselda, don't you? I wouldn't even play it for certain people. I know, like, y'all niggas, y'all stuck in the past. That's what y'all like. And it's not saying that everybody that likes Griselda is stuck in the past, but some niggas are gonna be like, I only like stuff that sounds like Griselda. Because I only listen to, you know, Stretch and Bobito cassette tape freestyles.
And like I
All right,
said,
bro.
that's my problem. If you
Grow
listen
up.
to Griselda and you listen to Guap Dad and you listen
They all fired.
to
Like,
Young
come
Dolph
on.
and you decided that Griselda was what you preferred,
That's
cool.
cool.
Y'all
Exactly.
niggas don't even get off of your stoop
At all. They
and
don't get off
decide
the
that your
set
house is
at
the best
all.
house.
At all. At all.
So
At
anyway,
all. You know, but that's the thing. It's about the variety. Like when people pick, when you pick a hill to die on, and you're like, yo, this is me. This is all I listen to, son. And then you hear me like, and then you birth children. And I mean, just by a younger audience who act the same way, and it's weird. Like, dog, I know where you got your whole style from. You ever see somebody that uses a slang word that they don't even know where it came from, and you know where it came from?
no, I don't know
Right.
where any of my slang words come from. I'm an immigrant. I call niggas money all day.
Right. But a Harlem nigga be like, word.
Right. The first time I heard a Harlem nigga call another man daddy, I was like,
What's good, Daddy? I'll see, you know, that's a very up north thing. Like, you know, in Philly, I call it, yo, what's good, baby? What's good, baby? You good? And that's just normal. Like, hey, baby, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I can see,
or
like,
like
where
when you
that doesn't
first
translate.
noticed that Big was like, nah, that's my folks. Nah, love wouldn't disrespect. You're like, well,
Yeah, we say that. Yeah, like, what's good, love? Like, those are, like, very, very, very Northeastern conversations.
normalize
But,
black
but
people.
I realized, like, once I got out of that zone, I'm like, oh, shit, this ain't what everybody else on.
Anyway, I want y'all to just turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, the next time somebody tells you that only X is good music, Just point them in another direction. That's why I'm making the playlist.
Please.
I'm making the playlist because somebody said on another thread that women are very one-dimensional when it comes to music, right? I thought he was saying the artist. And so I said, you can't say that. I said Tierra Whack, Chica, Kamaya, Rhapsody. I said in the Rhapsody, I said those are all women that are kind of in between that Rhapsody lane and that City Girl Cardi B lane, right? Then you got Bo Brown, you got Lyric Jones, you got all these other women that fall into that same category as Rhapsody. I said, there's all this variety out there. You can't say that we're all one sided. And he was like,
gangster rappers. You got Young M.A.
That's what I said too. I said all them girls from Detroit,
like, you got
all them angry girls from Detroit that are rapping about gangbanging. Like they're not rapping about sex.
I don't get it. Like,
And his response was that, and I don't know where this person was from. The person that tagged me in the post is from Memphis. It's from Tennessee, not even Memphis, but they're from Tennessee, not from a big town, right?
You know what? I'm going to try not to share my theory this week.
And so his response to me was that he doesn't know a lot of women that could name more than just Trina, Nicki Minaj, and Cardi B. And so I'm just gonna make the list. You know what? Maybe you didn't know, my nigga.
So we had a whole conversation yesterday at our social distanced gathering, and one of the things that we agreed with, and there were two gentlemen sitting at the table that were from the South. So, I love the South. I'm from the South. My family's roots are in the South of the United States. But y'all some ignorant ass niggas. Let me tell y'all something. And he admitted that to you. Like he basically said, I don't know anybody who could do this. Fam, life does not start and stop with your little ass opinion. So the problem is you need to go get some culture, my dude. Like you need to see some things that are beyond, and that's not anybody's fault. And there are tons of cultured people in the South, don't get me wrong. But there are also tons of uncultured people because of their situation. Like, fam, you have to want to know more than you know. You have to. At some point in my life, I decided that I wasn't just going to be like every other nigga in Philly who was sitting on the corner doing the same thing. I was going to seek something beyond and above what I knew, right? At some point, you just got to know that the world is bigger than your block or, your corner or whatever it is that you know. And if after that, you still feel how you feel, cool. But chances are, once you get cultured, my dude, you won't, right? So that's one of the hardest things. Like even coming down south for school, it was like, whoa, where's the culture? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Florida because y'all like some weird mixture of no culture and all the culture.
It's Miami and then no culture.
Well,
it's really what it is. Yeah. It's South Florida.
It's still by default a little bit better than other places just because of all the immigrants.
Yeah, Florida. I don't think Florida really officially counts as the South to a lot of people either.
No, it doesn't. Even though it's some really southern shit
it's
going on.
It's the southernmost. But
so
it's not the same. It's its own special lane. All right. So there was a battle. I was really excited about it. I saw a flyer that said it was at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I got on the computer really excited at 9:58 to find out that I had missed the whole thing.
Holy crap.
But then I couldn't find any conversations about it. I could not find, I've yet to see a scorecard. No, I have not seen a scorecard. Not like how everybody else's scorecards was floating around.
I saw one from Billboard.
You saw an article from Billboard, but like that snapshot of like, here's what they played.
Oh, you mean people actually haven't used that?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
No.
Tidal made a playlist, and when I went and looked at the Tidal playlist, it still didn't look like it was in order to me.
We actually made a playlist. I'm gonna have to slide you that. Bounce King, we made a playlist, an actual playlist.
It's fine. It's over. I'm over it. I don't even care. It happened.
Yeah. So
so there is a Revolt did an article with the most legendary moments. And that's what led me to believe that this Tidal playlist was not necessarily in order.
Well, Tidal don't even give a fuck no more because they like, listen, y'all don't went with Apple, so whatever.
They said "Bees in the Trap" and "What's Free" were the last two songs. Does that sound right to you?
No. So they might have been the last two songs that their DJs played, but they weren't the last two songs of the actual 20.
And then Pins
I
of the
know
Cross and Moneymaker were the first two? No, right? They didn't start with the brand new songs.
No.
Okay.
They were just playing records. Like the DJs were playing records. And then they kind of started. So I know the 2 Chainz last record was Mercy.
Yo, my dog never barks.
Must be something going on outside.
Yeah, it's people outside. I should probably close the doors. But yeah, it was very, so from what I understand, the energy between the two, between Rick Ross and 2 Chainz was not necessarily the greatest, and so people were bored. Is that what happened?
2 Chainz had good energy. Rick Ross was
Rick Ross.
kind of, yeah, like it's weird.
Except for that one little clip of him dancing.
Like he just tried to play that too cool mafia role, and I mean, people enjoyed it. I guess I just didn't. It was just kind of like that made for it being boring. Rick Ross doesn't have a lot of personality beyond his music. You know what I'm saying? 2 Chainz was very energetic and talking and relaying like information to the crowd, making jokes and having a good time. And I just feel like Ross was kind of a drag. Like he was just trying to be too cool. Like I'm gonna get a massage in the middle of this, and that was cool. But it was just like then 2 Chainz brought out essential workers, and they really, brought the party. And yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it was cool. It happened. It was a good celebration of music. Ross could have had a better selection of joints.
And
2 Chainz was just there to remind you that he matters. Like every joint, he was like, "Yeah, I got a plaque for this.
Right.
Yeah, I got a plaque and a Grammys for this." Because I mean, he knows like people sleep on him, and that's kind of how he approached it. But he still had a good time with it. But Ross was just really kind of being a dick at some points too.
Well, friends, I think I'm officially back in my I'm over it all bubble when it comes to verses.
Here's something funny. I called one of the producers of one of Ross's records, and he told me that he lost that round. So that was fun.
What does people officially like? What was the official consensus as to who won?
It was a lot more Rick Ross. My scorecard was different, but it was a lot more Rick Ross enthusiasts. From what I saw,
I would like to. I actually would like to see it. Come to think of it, I would like to see that list. In any case, Billboard put Timbaland and Swiss Beats on its cover this week.
Mm-hmm.
The article is called "The Versus Effect."
Mm-hmm.
How Swiss Beats and Timbaland turned a pandemic diversion into a cultural phenomenon and the industry's next big bet. That full article is available on the Billboard website, even if you don't have a subscription, because it was their cover story.
No
so y'all can go check that out.
Thanks.
All right. Let me see. Before we get into this freshman cover, Mikey, you can start my little 90-second timer. I don't even think it's going to take me 90 seconds. Really honest and truthfully. Hi, guys. In case you didn't know, most Black people not born in Africa at this point in the 21st century probably have some kind of ancestry in their background that is not just straight from Africa.
What?
I know. Shocking. As it would happen in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, over the course of the, Columbus landed there in 1492. So over the course of the last 500 years, almost 600 years, a lot of different groups of people have migrated to the Caribbean. There's a huge Chinese population in Jamaica. There's a huge, Indian population in Trinidad, in Guyana, to the point that they celebrate the Festival of Colors. They have a lot of traditions that come from India.
Right.
It's a lot of influence in the music. It's a lot of influence in the food. That's why they have curry food in the English-speaking West Indian islands that you don't see in Haiti and in the Spanish-speaking islands, right?
Right. We Jamaicans eat curry. Where they think we got that from?
They got that shit straight up from India. In Haiti, there's a very huge Syrio Lebanese population. There's a bunch of families that have emigrated to Haiti from Syria and Lebanon, and I mean, and continue to do it. Like
I
how
mean,
you
look at
see,
Africa, Eritrea, and
yeah,
Ethiopia, and all those places, heavily influenced by Indian folks.
right. But I want specifically to focus on the West Indies because apparently black people, black people, not Trump supporters, not ignorant white folks who don't know that people could be from different places and speak different languages and all this other shit. Black people, people who are members of the diaspora, people of African descent, are questioning whether a woman from Jamaica could call herself black because her mother's from India and her father maybe had some Indian ancestry but was born in Jamaica.
All right, so I don't even know where to start with this one because I'm Jamaican, and I don't know. I'm gonna let you handle this one, Todd, because I'm over these niggas.
Okay. I'm over them too, but I just also kind of wanted to point this out for y'all. Um, there are race issues um, that exist in the United States for very, very valid reasons that don't exist in the same ways in other countries. I want y'all to understand that. It does not mean racism doesn't exist. It doesn't mean colorism doesn't exist. None of that. But what I'm saying is there are certain places where the identity is that country's identity. So when somebody like Lupita Nyong'o says that they didn't know that they were black until they came to America, what that means is we don't focus on the racial makeup as much as we do on the
The things that actually matter.
identity. Like
Right.
Haiti's constitution actually says if you were born there, you're black. Period. That's what it is. So anyway,
So
in conclusion, y'all got to make up your mind as to whether or not you want anybody who is of African descent to claim black, or if you want only certain black people to say they're black.
so here's my 10 seconds. Kamala Harris and anybody else who has a dual identity has the right to that dual identity. And for people to use that against them, especially black people, and when I say black, I usually do the air quotes because that shit's some shit that we didn't make up. But that's a whole nother discussion for another time. That does not, you can't define those people. And we shouldn't be trying to define people when we have spent our entire existence trying not to be defined, right? So white supremacy has tried to define us all this time. And they've also taught us to turn around and try to define ourselves. This shit's silly. Y'all doing Russia's job once again. I saw, man, I've seen so many terrible memes and ideas being shared that have been, you just know it's 2016 all over again. You know that these foreign people are interfering in our election, and this is what I was saying earlier. Like, you can just drop a thought in social media now. You could just drop something in the water, like you drop, fish food in a fish tank, and everybody will just whoop, 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 whoop to it, and then that'll be the thing that they take. And the worst part is, these people will think that they thought of it. So I've seen so many self-loathing, hateful niggas in the past 2 days, and I just don't have the energy to fight or combat all of them. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Kamala Harris being Indian. There's nothing wrong with her being black. She can be both. I have a daughter who is Asian and she's black. She's both. She's not one. She's not the other. She has cultural ties to both. Y'all assuming that Kamala Harris's mom and how she raised them is also ignorant. Her mom was out here. Her mom stayed here because she was fighting for civil rights. Did y'all know that? Y'all didn't know that because y'all didn't do the
Why would they
research.
bother to find out?
Because
Crazy.
it don't fit their little argument, and
Um,
it's just weird. Well, she was raised Indian. How do you know the fuck she was raised, bro? You don't know anything about her. Did you know her? No, you didn't. Well, she claimed she wasn't. No, you didn't. Where'd she say that? She didn't. It's weird. It's weird.
she's an AKA.
I saw somebody blame her for mass incarceration.
Actually, no, let me take that back because there's a whole bunch of people who are in predominantly black, or black panhandle organizations who are not black. I
But
have
but
multiple
but here's
homegirls
the
who
thing,
are
though.
white or Sigmas or whatever.
No, the thing is, the fact that she is an AKA does speak to the fact that she couldn't have been out here like, man, I ain't black.
Right. Also. But
What?
regardless, like, hey, 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 hey. It's a lunatic in the fucking White House, okay? Like, there's a person who has let us live in this condition and become like the worst. Like, nigga, we watch so many post-apocalyptic movies. Everybody's supposed to be trying to get over here because we supposed to have the juice right now.
I'm gonna tell you who the
We're in
worst
the
are.
ghetto.
The worst
We
people
are
right
the
now.
ghetto of the COVID experience. So I need y'all to focus and get that motherfucker out of the White House. That's it.
The worst people right now are Kanye stands because somehow Kanye stands are coming for Kamala.
And the baby who says he's willing
And
to vote for Kanye.
who cares what that nigga said, man? Just shut up and make your little happy rap music.
Bops.
Like that's it. Like that's why you're here. Just shut up and make those little stupid songs that we like. Like don't nobody want to hear that shit from you, bro. At all. This is like it's we living in an upside down. And yeah, my mute button, my delete button is on full blast because I ain't got time for y'all niggas because y'all ignorant as fuck. And you think like you just came up with these ideas, man. White supremacy is playing y'all ass. Russia's playing you once again. All right, this is a survival game. But for y'all to be out here telling black people who's black and who's not,
Ooh.
y'all don't even know y'all family tree, dog. You
Let
don't
me
even know
tell you
y'all the
something.
23 and me your ass.
Let me tell you something. Here's the gag. The gag is that there's a lot of people, that whole ADOS movement has been trying to tell people who's black and who's not black for
Clowns.
a couple
The
years
biggest
now.
clowns. The
For a
biggest
couple years
clowns.
now.
The biggest clown. And they love these moments. They love because there are a lot of the people who are making this noise. So let me tell you something. I saw Herman Cain's dead account. I saw
Just tweet.
this tweet.
To which David Allen Greer said, "Ain't you dead?"
Oh, you know it's election season. You know
What
we
pains me
getting
more
close.
about what pains me most about that though is that I didn't see any of these Republicans, not one Republican figurehead, say anything about Herman Cain stuff. Not
No, because they don't care. They didn't
I
care
didn't see
about
a
that
single one.
man. Not nobody. Nobody. I didn't see nobody
Nobody
like
went to his
rest
funeral.
in peace, Herman Cain. I didn't see anything about it. I didn't see anything on TV. Fox didn't cover it. Nobody. Nobody care about that dude. That's gonna be Candace Owens' goofy ass when she passes. Ain't not one person gonna be like, "Oh, Diamond and Silk." Ain't nobody gonna care about your ass again.
If I'm not mistaken, Herman Cain was actually, an official part of the Trump reelection campaign, and he didn't say anything.
That's
But
trash.
y'all gonna let somebody go into that man's account and tweet to support your campaign today?
Absolute
Just in
trash.
case you thought Biden's candidacy was going to be anything other than completely nuts, Team Trump has released a new video. Y'all have the audacity to tweet that from Herman. If I was his
From
family, I
Herman
would sue the
Cain's
fuck
account.
out them people.
Now here's the
They're not
crazy
gonna
thing.
do that.
No matter what Trump says about Kamala Harris, Trump donated to Kamala Harris's uh, election campaigns not once, not twice, but multiple times. So
I don't know. Y'all gonna turn that into a negative point. Anyway, that was
well, because that means whatever.
she's a plant.
Niggas don't even argue straightforward no more. Like as soon as you shut them down, they just start running sideways. Like,
That's what they do.
just throwing out whatever. Like
That is what they do. Alrighty.
we said we wouldn't talk about politics.
It is August. And in August, typically Double XL releases their freshman cover. Their always controversial freshman cover. And this year's freshman cover, I'm gonna call the first year grad students cover.
Yeah,
Because
this one is interesting because these are people who have like some of these people got like 2-3 albums
there's
out.
only
Like,
one person on here who I can say, and I know that I'm not the average person, but I'm also not in any of these kids' demographics. So me knowing about their music is purely me knowing their names is purely accidental. I
mm-hmm.
don't know that I know any of their music except for Fabio Foreign, Jack Harlow, and we played a song by Mulatto last week. I don't know any of the rest of these people's music. But I know their names. I know that I've been seeing NLE Chopper's name for a very long time, Polo G's name for a couple years, Cowboy I've seen, Baby Keem I've seen a lot. Rod Wave has been doing a whole bunch of shit. Anyways, the list is
I would say Baby Keem because he didn't have a breakthrough moment solo as an artist. I would say Chica because she hadn't had that breakthrough moment. Like I don't even think she released a full album yet. She put out an EP that we
mm-hmm.
covered, but you know, a lot of these folks are like NLE Chopper's got like six. He puts out a lot because I see his name all the time in the releases on Genius. So a lot of these folks, Lil TJ, all over the place and been all over the place for a while. I just feel like
Jack Harlow. My first time seeing Jack Harlow perform, he was one of the opening acts for A King had a Raise the Bar showcase for A3C 2017. It was hosted by Combat Jack. And the headliners was Griselda. And Jack Harlow was like maybe the second or third act to go on.
okay.
And made a great impression to me because we were having all kinds of technical difficulties, all kinds of audio difficulties. And he was just like, I'm just going to go Acapulco. He didn't say Acapulco. But he didn't let the lack of the sounds phase him, which means that not only was he performing in 2017 at A3C, but he was already a seasoned enough professional to be able to ride the wave and make it work.
He was, but what I would say is, especially with somebody like him, he's been developed.
Yes.
And shout out to Generation Now, shout out to Drama Cannon and all those folks over there. He's been developed. He hasn't had his moment. What's popping is his moment. So this is like the first year where people are like, oh, Jack Harlow, you know.
Right.
And if you live in Atlanta and
The right
like
people.
KY and cats who've been like championing him for a while, like we're aware. But for Jack Harlow, it's like it's been cool to watch his journey and to see that he's arrived at this, and now he's on his way. And this is kind of like he's like the perfect example of what a freshman should be, not like, yo, we just found who was popular and put him on this list.
Mm.
And I feel like that's more of what they did. Like, let's find the young popular people and put them on this list, no matter how long they've been out.
So when you said Baby Keem hasn't had the moment solo, who is he? Like, where does he come from?
So Baby Keem, my first time I heard of him, he was a producer. So he went by his real name, Hakeem Carter. He produced a couple records on Redemption for J Rock, right? Amazing album. And then he was working with Cardo. Cardo got wings. I don't know. They said something about he's so he lives in Vegas.
Kendrick's cousin?
Yeah, they said he's Kendrick's cousin. I'm not sure. I haven't verified that one. But he went from being a producer and working on these tracks, out in the West Coast and that Mike and Keys world, like that whole TDE world, like producing. I mean, that's what really grabbed me. Like, yo, this kid is fucking nuts. Like, how old is he? And he was younger then. Then I started watching the solo work, dropping a mixtape here, putting out a song here, putting out a song there. Him and Cardo doing like a little EP, or they did a SoundCloud release or whatever. But in that video that Kendrick released not too long ago, maybe a year ago, he was I think one of the main characters. Where they're like sitting in the park or some shit.
Oh yeah. When it was like we were trying to figure out what Kendrick was up to, and we never figured it out.
Right. Yeah. So he was in that, but he's just been dropping solid things here and there the whole time. The industry's been like people that know, like people that make music, have been screaming his name in the background, like really loudly. You know what I'm saying? He's been compared to Pierre Bourne. That kind of like producer rapper, like perfect combination. And he's somebody I'm super excited about. Like Baby Keem, that's definitely a name for y'all to watch out for. If you weren't up on him, do your math. Yeah, he's got some shit.
All right, so your full list of 2020 freshmen: NLE Choppa, Polo G, Cowboy, Lil TJ, Fabio Foreign, Baby Keem, Jack Harlow, Rod Wave, Chica, Mulatto, and Little Keed, and 24K Golden.
Who
That
came in
means
with the 10th spot. So that means
yes,
he was
and
voted.
that's the fan spot.
Yep, that's dope.
So that's artists from Memphis, Chicago, New York, Vegas, Louisville, St. Petersburg, Montgomery, and Atlanta and San Francisco.
Oh,
So it's a
thank
good
you.
variety. I found it interesting, if I'm reading this correctly, that Jetson Made is the first non double XL staffer to curate the list. I think that's what they were saying, that he curated.
No, no. So what they were saying is he's going to be doing most of the production, which is weird.
Well, then he's
Uh,
not the first one to do that. I want y'all to know that iStandard was the first to do that.
well, but even if you pick the person, in 2017, Sunny Digital did all the ciphers.
Right,
But
that's what I'm saying. I
they
don't
still
think that
came to
he was
us.
doing the beats.
They still came to us for the like music. So basically, okay. So what they did, they probably just gave him one bag for a bunch of beats, right? Which means do the cipher beats and for all the little videos that we traditionally did, or that I standard traditionally did. Um, and now Justin Made It is doing all of it, which is cool. I'm like that's dope. But let's just be clear, he's not the first person to do that. He might be the first individual to do that because they didn't announce us. Obviously, they were just coming to us to get the beats from all of our producers. I find it kind of funny that they didn't show any of those producers who did it any love beyond just writing their name in the intro screen on some of them or putting them in, because all they got was credit. They didn't get any money for it. So
Well,
yeah,
it's a new day.
it is.
Maybe they've learned
So
their ways.
and
So
that's
Double XL finally went and put together a full list of every artist that's ever been on the freshman cover. I'm annoyed right now because I'm seeing that they actually put these people's names in alphabetical order instead of just grouping them by the year. And I'm
what?
only annoyed by it because I wanted to draw a comparison from the
Why would they do
2010. So fucking
that?
so annoying. But as I'm scrolling it, it's a lot of people from much more recent years than you would imagine that are no longer a topic of conversation. And there's other people where I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn. Dickie Simmons was on the freshman list in 2011. How old was Dickie Simmons in 2011?
17, 18 years old.
Wasn't he three? Let me stop. Wasn't he still a baby on his dad's show? I'm playing. So I'm going to pull that real quick. But while I pull that, here's the thing that I saw that I found very, very interesting. In the announcement that Double XL made, they made it a point to say that Pop Smoke was the very first person that was chosen for this year's list. And that
Yes.
he had accepted to be featured on the list, but that due to circumstances beyond their control, that they were not able to include him posthumously. And I felt like that was kind of weird. Like that don't like that just seems odd to me. And it seems like some real petty shit for y'all to put out there.
Well, I mean, because it is, and that bothered me a little bit too. And it's very, it's crass. Like it's definitely tacky on their part. But what do we expect from Double XL? What's their mission? What's their goal? Readers, their goal is to get as many people clicking on shit as possible. That's it. And this is their cash cow, as Jay Hatch used to say. Like, you have one big thing that's your nut, and this is their nut. Every year, the XXL Freshman is what they make most of their money on. Besides their videos, where they don't pay creators for the music that they use.
Mm-mm.
But this is how they pay their bills, off of trash. So.
Because I don't think that, because y'all have never had anybody else on the freshman cover posthumously, I don't think that you have people on there who have since passed, like Mac Miller, and he's not the only one. But y'all haven't had anybody on there posthumously. I don't think anybody was going to look at that cover and be like, Pop Smoke should have been on here. Why he not on here? Like, y'all didn't really have to put that out there. And then if you're going to put it out there, then tell me the whole fucking story.
And they did it. They did it in a way like. But the part that I really didn't like was them mentioning that his estate didn't allow for them to put him on the cover still. Like blaming his
due to
family.
circumstances beyond our control.
Right, like kind of blaming his family, like, oh well, Pop Smoke. If y'all want to know why Pop Smoke ain't there, ask his people. Like, that's corny
As hell. Because honestly, nobody was going to ask you guys. I don't think.
Nobody was gonna ask y'all. Nobody.
I don't think. I
I mean,
think at
maybe
most people
people
would have been
might,
like, "Damn, man, it's too bad that he wasn't here because if he was here, he probably would have been on there." But
and
nobody was
it would have been
like,
okay
"Gotta
for them
put him on
to
there."
do that. Like if they would have just did that and just took that angle, like, hey, we wanted to put Pop Smoke on here,
Write a separate
but we
article just
didn't
about him.
because or something like that. But I just felt like they kind of threw his family under the bus. They could have done that in a way
Mm-hmm.
where they didn't include the whole part about his people and
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, maybe Victor and some interest don't want us to put him on the cover. Nah, man, let that man rest in
Wait,
peace.
they actually said that?
Well, no, they just said beyond our
Beyond our
control.
control. Okay, yeah.
So, but beyond our
Which leaves a lot
control,
to interpretation. You're right.
right?
It's
It's
that's
a lot
little
of
that's
interpretation.
just
Like
because you're not telling me what happened.
it's messy. It's absolutely
Very
messy.
messy. Okay, I'm still trying to get. I'm at the O's now of who was the 2010 list.
Are you on Twitter? Because I think the Twitter list was a little bit better. I don't
Now,
know.
listen, I'm in the O's. I'm already
Okay,
on.
cool.
I'm
Yeah,
just scrolling down their page, so I
I
can
feel
tell you
like
who I have so far. Because
no,
this is a really
I feel like
funny
on
list.
Twitter they actually did it by year.
So 10 years ago, the freshman cover consisted of, in alphabetical order, Big Sean, Donis, Fashawn. I think that's how you say his
Donis.
name. I think
Wow.
I never properly learned how to say his name.
Donis. Holy crap.
Freddie Gibbs, J Rock, J Cole, Nipsey, OJ the Juice Man, Pill, and let's see if there's anybody else. That might be it. I think the 2010 cover might have been arguably the most talented cover.
And that's the one Wiz in them, right? Yeah.
No, was Wiz on this one? Possibly. I haven't made it to W's yet. Hold on a second. I'm still on T.
Why would they do this?
Why would they do this?
They're so disorganized.
And then they got Vince Staples on there. It doesn't even say a year. Wale was 09. Yeah, Wiz was 2010.
Wale was 09?
Mm-hmm. Roscoe Dash was 2012, and niggas was mad at that. Like, why is he here?
By 2012. By 2012, that's a good question.
So Big Sean, Donis, Fashawn, Freddie Gibbs, J Rock, J Cole, Nipsey Hussle, OJ the Juice Man, Pill, Wiz Khalifa. That list right there consisted of all people who had a little bit of a buzz, but that were not on for real. If you think back to 10 years ago.
Pill was on MMG.
Pill was on MMG after the cover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Donis and Pill are part of that generation of rappers I felt that got lost in Atlanta, because I feel like when Tip and Jeezy came out, it was the first time that they saw artists who were talking about street shit, but were also like from the South, who were talking about street shit, but were also lyrically talented, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they stood in contrast with Outkast, but then they also matched the skill level, right?
Right.
And so they started signing all kinds of artists who were just like that. Pill, Flick Puller, what's his name? You just had to say. Saha, Donis, and it was one other person. Right before them was Bobby Krieger.
I was about to say that was also also you had the other Bobby, B.O.B.
Yes. So I think B.O.B. was also on the 2012 cover. But B.O.B. when he first came out, we all knew B.O.B. from like these kind of more fun records. We knew Haters Everywhere You Go B.O.B. Like we didn't know B.O.B. was gonna, whatever. But so he was a little bit different from these guys who were kind of like kind of street lyrical but not dry, whatever. But this is the list. If you look at that list, look at Big Sean now, look at Freddie Gibbs now, look at J. Nipsey and Wiz Khalifa.
B.O.B. was actually 2009.
Okay. With Wale. 1, 2.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these artists from 10 years ago who are still very, very relevant. And of those 6, I think J Rock is maybe the least successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
Of those 6, Gibbs, Big Sean, Cole, Nipsey, Wiz Khalifa, and J Rock?
It depends on how you define successful. It took J Rock longer,
Okay.
but J Rock is a Grammy nominated, and he made a shit ton of money the last 2 years off of one fucking
One
song.
fucking song, yeah.
Probably more than half of the people made ever in their
Okay,
career.
so I should say maybe more
But I know
established,
what you mean. I know what you mean.
better known.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I really wish that this list was not split up the way that it's split up, because this is just stupid and it makes analyzing it just fucking painful. But yeah, congratulations to the XXL first year grad students and the two freshmen that are actually on the list.
Did you know Troy Ave and Joe Buttons are beefing?
Huh?
Did you know Troy Ave and Joe Buttons are beefing?
No, because why would I pay attention to either of those people? Absolutely not. I refuse. Like, it's like them two is like when I wake up in my neighborhood, when I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear niggas outside arguing, I'm not gonna go see what's going on. I'm just gonna pray that nobody shoots and go back. What are they arguing about?
No. But there's a diss song. There's a diss song called Junkie Joe that I have to listen to.
Junkie Joe?
Junkie Joe.
Oh.
Apparently Troy Ave challenged him to take a drug test, $50,000. And Joe Buttons declines.
Oh. I mean, I get it, because if I was Button, I'd be like, fuck Troy. Like, what am I proving to Troy Ave?
Well, I don't know. Purpose? I mean, Joe Budden is one song ahead of Troy Ave in my book.
As an artist, absolutely. And as a figure, a public figure in rap right now.
Well,
you're not on the same level.
But
beyond all of that.
But the one thing I love is that when you take it to the essence, it's a New York street thing. Or it's a tri-state area street thing. And at the end of the day, all of the other cute shit don't matter. Sometimes you get dragged back into the mud.
Absolutely. But like, for you to ask him to take a drug test and be like, I'll pay you $50 to take a drug test, it's just some weird ass shit to say. And it would be some weird ass shit to agree to. I don't care what the result would be. You don't think so? Like, what? Because why?
It's a lot of pride involved. I mean, I could take 50K and do some things with it, but you know.
I guess.
I'm going to listen to that track, though, because I need a laugh today.
They're all so weird. All right, guys.
You know, rapper egos? Come on.
And lastly, today, it's taken us an hour and a half to get through current events, but it's fine.
A lot happened.
Surprisingly, we're not the generation that made Phil Collins and Air Tonight pop.
Nah, we're not. And I saw a lot of people not trying to give these two young men their credit at first. But I think we got this straightened out.
So these two young men made a video and they reacted to hearing In the Air Tonight for the very first time. I saw it on the timeline. I haven't watched it yet. I'm sure it's cute. And as a result, in the week ending August 6th, In the Air Tonight was the number 4 most purchased song.
Yeah.
The week before that, it was like number 185.
Yeah. So, man, you know, they did a reaction video, and they're just kind of waiting for the drop. I mean, if you know the song, it's a very epic ride up, and then 3 minutes later comes the payoff. Mm-hmm. And they hung in there, man. And, you know, first of all, it's a great song, but just watching them discover it,
yes,
brought back a lot for a lot of people, and that's why it was so impactful. And it does speak to the fact that great music is great music, and it doesn't matter the generation. So that was fire.
Somebody in our comments on the live in Instagram said that they were trolling. What do you mean they were trolling?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch their videos, they do that all the time. So, I mean, as far as they do reactions to videos.
No, but when you say trolling, like they're doing it so that they could talk shit about it?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
But yeah, their video has been viewed 5 million times.
So,
5.1 million times. So, which makes me happy for them because that means they getting some coins off of this shit too, right?
yep,
YouTube working the way that it does. Oh, he
yep.
said they were trolling because no matter how old you are, you can't hide from that song. You'd be surprised.
No, I mean, but it's absolutely dope. Like now, their their profile's gotten pretty high. I mean, first of all, you make good money off of being on YouTube. You get that many views. Reaction videos, you still do get paid for. So it's not a copyright strike on a reaction video. And then they're getting legit press.
Mhm.
Tim Williams and his twin brother Fred have rocketed to internet celebrity over the last few weeks thanks to the most modern of cultural artifacts, the reaction video. So, yeah, that joint went crazy. I mean, that song's from 1981.
Which I didn't even
1981.
realize that song was from 81. Like I don't know why I thought it was a song that came out well after I was born. But maybe because it was still on videos, like we would still see the video pop up on MTV like at around like 85, 86. It was a top 20 hit in 1981, and I'm trying to see if it's back on the charts per se. But that's really dope, and I think that a very important thing for someone to do, and when I say someone, it ain't finna be me because I don't have the bandwidth. But I really want somebody to seize this moment that we're in now where people are talking about the power of these YouTubers, the power of these kids on TikTok to help these young creatives um, handle the business side of that shit and
Yeah,
understand the business side of that shit. It's not just about getting on Twitter and being upset because your content was stolen or calling people out because your content was stolen or whatever. Like I want y'all to learn how to turn that into like actual money or how to prevent that shit from happening to begin with. I would much rather hear about a young creative suing somebody for some shit. Like the company Reels, the TV network Reels is trying to sue Twitter over the name Reels.
right.
Um,
Like, bro, how you just gonna come in here and jack our stuff?
Exactly. We weren't here to begin with. Ours has a Z. Yours had an S.
Well,
Um,
these two twins have a very unique story, and they have a family background and things like that. But they're, their grandfather's the pastor, so they literally couldn't listen to this type of music. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? So as they got older, because they just listened to gospel music. So as they got older, they didn't really discover 90s and 2000s rap. Now, mind you, they're 22, right? So
right.
they were born in 98.
Mm,
So they didn't discover 90s and 2000s rap until recently. You know what I
right.
mean? And that's cool. Everybody discovers music at a different time period. But we also got to realize something happened in 1981. I was born in 1980.
Right.
So yeah, and I'll be 40. So come on. These kids are 22. So it's dope. But they got a shout out from Dolly Parton. They go back through music that they heard or that they've researched was dope, and then they check it out on camera. It's super smart. It's great content. And a lot of these kids are smart about creating content in a way that we could never even think of. It was just a good idea.
Yep. So kudos to them and to Phil Collins for giving us great music that these kids can enjoy all these many
And they
years.
said people are hitting them up for deals. People want to send them free shit, so they popping.
Hey guys, this would be a great time to allow Ciz and I to promote whatever the fuck you've got going on. What do you have going on in 2020?
We wonder, what do you
Huh?
have going on? I said, I wonder, what do we have going on? What do you guys have going
Y'all are putting out music. Shouts to Mr. Latney and our
on? Hey,
good buddy Darren. Shouts to Toby from the Creator Fam. He put out a project earlier this year.
mm-hmm.
Shouts
Good
to
music.
Bounce Gang Records.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, y'all are doing things, and we would like to help y'all tell people about it.
Yeah.
All you people who are that's what I'm gonna start doing. Says all these people that keep DMing me about their shit that they want me to somehow include in this podcast that they've clearly never heard. I'm about to start sending them a rate sheet for fucking advertising. Alrighty, new music this week. WAP was not the only song that dropped this week.
Felt like
Ahead
it.
of or immediately following the battle that wasn't, both 2 Chainz and Rick Ross dropped records. 2 Chainz dropped Moneymaker featuring Lil Wayne. It features a marching band playing. Damn, I forget what the sample is. Forget, but bunch of marching bands, and he shouts out all these universities at the beginning and at the end of the record. And Wayne is there doing what Wayne does. I don't know. I wanted it to hit bigger. Did you get a chance to check that one out? Do we know who produced it?
No, I didn't get to produce on that one. I was actually looking up on Tidal, but I do have the one from the Rick Ross record, obviously.
So Rick Ross delivered Pin to the Cross featuring Finn Matthews doing his best John Legend impression, because I definitely thought that was John Legend. Maybe I just assumed because it sounded like, because Rick Ross and John Legend have done quite a bit of these Maybach music records together. So
it was produced by Playa Pizzle.
Playa Pizzle.
Playa Pizzle for shizzle. Shout out to Playa Pizzle.
Playa Pizzle. I gotta listen to that song again. Something about the cadence or the beat just did not hit me.
I like the diss to Terry Crews.
Lord, Terry Crews. Interesting that this is where you're at right now.
Shout out to Fuse on the beat on that one.
Oh, Pizzle was the producer for the other record.
Yeah, for the 2 Chainz.
Oh, okay, my bad. What's the sample on here? It's a lot of writers on the song. I wonder. Conway the Machine went and got Method Man and put out a song called Lemon, and I really enjoyed it because it sounded like Method Man really got excited. And that's the thing. See, that's the thing that I will say about Griselda. I feel like Griselda put a battery in the back of a lot of like the OGs that used to create that same kind of music. I think that they get them excited again.
Yeah, no, definitely. Not. And this is a solid record. I mean, Conway does Conway, and Method Man matches that energy. And I'm talking about that 2020 energy. Method Man sounds fresh.
Yes.
He sounds fresh and hungry on the mic. And, Method Man's never really been a slacker, on the mic. But, I mean, this joint is just, it's a good energy. Like, it's a joint you're going to listen to top to bottom. You might even rewind it.
Yep.
Depending on how you feel.
Yep.
It's that good.
Yep. Produced by Beat Butcher, Derringer, Elliot Dubach, and Thomas Paldino. So there's this whole class of young niggas that I truly enjoy. And this is where the contrast for me comes with the Griselda cats. Talent for talent, I would say equally talented. But there is definitely this class of artists who are really, who could rap their little asses off, but are good for a bop. And so IDK got with JID and Kenny Mason and DJ Scheme and dropped the song called Cereal. First of all, the video is IDK sitting on a bike eating a bowl of cereal.
The whole damn time. And I was just like...
That was enough for me.
Is something going to happen? No? Okay.
That was it.
Now, I was a little upset with them because I tried to find... I'm on the video and I'm like, the song's fire. Who produced it?
So I feel like I went to ID. No, that was a different song. I felt like I went to his IG and found it there, but that was a different song.
I figured it out, but it was just like, why do y'all not put the producer on the video?
Producers, why don't you demand and make sure that you stay on niggas' asses so that they can...
That's ridiculous. Like, they put everybody. They even got the lyrics on there. You got the lyrics. You got the person that did the lighting. You got the person that did the makeup. You got everybody. Now, mind you, one of the producers is in the title. So I'll give you that, DJ Scheme.
Okay.
But J. Card, Cristo, and Blue Rondo getting no love. No love. We got to dig for them. Let's stop making that the norm. Come on. You got enough space on that little description section to add their names and let people know that they did the track. Other than that, stream the song. It's pretty good.
It's really good. Really, really good. I enjoyed it. Our fave is back. Guap Dad 4000.
Hey, who got listen, Double XL.
It's fine.
It's cool because y'all did that shit to y'all did it to YB and Corday, and I called you out on that. And then the next year y'all was all on his nuts. So we'll see you next year.
And let's not forget that sometimes these artists don't want the cover.
Nah, he wanted the cover. And it's cool.
Because his, like, you know, I know at the very least, like, I remember that, like, when Nicki and Drake first, like, really, really blew up, they turned down the cover because it was like, you can't do that freshman cover and
Oh
then
no,
do
you
cover by
gotta
yourself.
go on Guap Dad's social network. He definitely wanted. I
No,
mean,
he's not.
he knows he feels that he wasn't on the cover, and it's cool. It's not like he's salty. It's just he knows like, okay, maybe this ain't my time, and that's fine. But ultimately, Double XL is not a forward thinking publication. They're looking for clicks and all that stuff. So whatever. They'll see you next year, sir.
Well, he just dropped a song. It's called Deadly Assassination Summer Squad. He's singing for most of it.
He is.
I enjoy Guap Dad so much, you guys. I think I'm gonna
And
tweet that. Let
he's
me see
got
if
a
I
great
tweet that if
energy.
he responds.
He's got a great energy. He shared a story this week about meeting first time he met J. Cole. He's just he's an entertaining dude. So
I enjoy him very much. That song I enjoyed as well. Um, there is another track that I listened to because, like I said, this week I was very, very intentionally going through and listening to shit that I wouldn't necessarily listen to. And
Guap
so
Dad, if you're watching, make sure you credit your producers,
so Buddy dropped the joint called Ain't Sweet featuring Matt OX. I felt like Matt OX was a name that I've heard before, but whose music I hadn't necessarily heard before.
Is it Matt OX or is it Matt Ox?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's Ox.
Yeah, let's go with Ox.
And then part of me wanted to say it as all one word, Maddox, but I don't know. You children do different things these days. What really did it for me with this song was the beat. The beat is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So shouts to Brick. Like I went and specifically found out who produced that song because the beat is just stupid. Even though Matt Ox and his screaming almost made me not listen to the whole song.
Apparently, he does that a lot.
Yeah, it didn't sound. It didn't sound. It sounded like that's what they brought him here for.
Yeah, Buddy's super dope.
Buddy's super dope, but like you said, Buddy is not somebody that you can say you know what you're gonna get from him.
Yeah, like I'm still trying to like Buddy's super dope, and I've enjoyed like his releases, but I still don't know who he is as an artist because it seems like everything he does is all over the place. So I can't like pinpoint like what his style is, like what his whatever. And that's a good thing, but it's also a curse when you're trying to market yourself and be memorable.
Right. So y'all make sure you check that one out for us. Let's skip. Well, no, I'm not skipping Dolph because I think I tried to group everybody together. So then I went through and I listened to a bunch of like Southern artists. I really wanted to be able to say to y'all, look, Lil Keed has a song with Mulatto and this is dope, but it was mid. It wasn't mid. It was just very Trina Trick Daddy 97 energy. And I just didn't have it for them at 2:00 in the morning when I was making this list or 1:30, whatever it was. I skipped over another Lil Keed record. I skipped over a Smoke Perp record because I just really just like, I honestly, I don't know, guys. Like, I just can't get with the, glorification of popping pills and shit. Like, when that's your whole hook. Like, the whole
Right.
hook was like, I was on 10 Zans before I did whatever. Okay, buddy, cool.
Especially since we just had a couple artists die from things like that. I mean, gotta try to do a little bit better, man. Gotta try to do a little
They're
bit
sitting
better.
in their house right now, probably self-medicating because, it's a lot of shit going on. So I skipped over that. I skipped over a couple joints. Young Dolph has a record out called Death Row. Which reminded me the first time I heard I heard Young Dolph was back when Bankroll Fresh had that Hot Boy record. Because it kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Out at Memphis.
Yes. Shouts to Memphis. Dolph is giving away a Lamborghini, by the way, guys. So
Dolph is giving away a Lamborghini.
I just want y'all to know though that when you get a free Lamborghini, you still got to pay Lamborghini insurance prices. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep that in mind uh, before you go enter that contest. Young M.A is back. She has a song called Big Stepper.
Produced by Mike Zombie, who's been giving her a whole batch of beats.
Young M.A can rap, you guys. Like I just want, you know what? I gotta remember to put Young M.A on this playlist.
I
She's
think
a girl.
we've known Young M.A could rap for a while.
It's unfortunate though that so we finally got to a point where we could get past it in R&B, right? And so nobody makes a big deal about Sid, nobody makes a big deal about Asian or any of the other girls who are gay or queer or bi and who are open about it in their music. But people can't get past Young M.A.
Shout out to those amazing ladies you mentioned in the R&B space. I still feel like they get slept on too. I mean, getting by, or do they get the respect? Like, I feel like ASEAN is one of the most exciting R&B singers in the last 10 years, but she doesn't get the respect because she openly sings about her love for women. And she's said as much as well. I think Young M.A just don't care. She's got her lane. I don't think Young M.A's style is what. I don't think Young M.A's sexuality is what's holding her back.
What do you think
I
it
think
is?
it's just the lack of evolution as an artist is holding her back. So if she got
Has she
if
been
she
out long
like
enough for us to be looking for evolution?
yeah, how long ago was Ooh?
2 years?
Nah.
Should I keep forgetting Bobby Schmurder is on the 5th year of a 5-year bid?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Sid is fire, but I mean, it's just, are people accepting? There are a lot of people who are like, we don't care that that's what you want to do, but that's a difference than like, okay, I embrace your message, or I'll just listen to your music anyway. And that's one of the issues like I've been talking about with the artists that I work with, because she fits into that queer space. And, we talk a lot about letting that define her. I mean, it's a part of who she is, but we know people judge folks and will or will not support you based on their own ignorance or beliefs or whatever you want to call
Ooh came out in 2017, by the way.
it. Okay, so we're about 3.5 years past it.
And while we're on the topic of feminine girls, let me just be a stereotypical person with limited exposure to the world and tell you that there is a comedian named Sam J who has a special on Netflix called 3 a.m. Y'all should go watch that shit. That shit is fucking hilarious. Because she tells this story about traveling with her girlfriend and her girlfriend overpacking and then being at an airport and a man wanting to come and rescue them. And she was like, that's the reason why it popped in my head. Because she was like, whenever men see a masculine woman, they love to step in and try to rescue her. And so they walk in
What?
like, I got a real dick. What do you need me to do? I'm a real man. It's funny. She tells it way more funnier than me because I'm not a comedian. She is. She's fucking hilarious. Y'all should get into it. But I believe her though, because men love to mansplain, and let you be a woman that doesn't look dainty. It's extra, like they have to put extra on it to make you feel like.
Yeah. One of our chat participants said that Young M.A sexuality is on the back. Some other artists not willing to work with her because of that queer space. And I'm just trying to find those artists. Young M.A has a song with every rapper in New York. I don't know if she's trying to go outside of that space, and not just every rapper outside of New York, but I don't feel like any of that's holding her back. She's got the production. She's worked with the biggest producers. She's worked with the biggest artists. Around her, she's got a song with Fabio Foreign right now. So she's in these conversations. She just has to deliver the record, and we can't not give people. Like, you had such a huge record. How many people have such a big record like that and then can't find that second record? We loved that record. Everybody loved that record. I remember Remy brought her out at Summer Jam and the whole crowd going nuts and everything. So, trust me, and you know, my overall opinion on that was that there are definitely a lot of things that hold people back that live in that LGBTQ queer space, whatever you want to call it. Um, but I don't think Young M.A, that's not her main thing, because Young M.A is aggressive content. Like we did, what was that, Red Flu, or that she just came out with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that just, her content just needs to evolve. You know,
I still feel that if Young M.A was actually a dude with her exact catalog,
if
she'd be
Young M.A was a dude, she'd be she'd be
she wouldn't be like, she wouldn't be
she'd be
a
Dave
mega
East.
star.
She'd be Dave East.
Oh shit, never mind. You right. My bad.
See,
I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. My bad.
she'd be
But
Dave
also,
East.
Dave East is also hindered by the fact that he's too fucking cute too. That's the problem. They're both too feminine.
Well, yeah. I mean, oh, hold on. I need a minute. I need a minute. I need a minute. I can't deal with her, y'all. I need a
Let me tell you
minute.
something. As a woman,
I need a minute.
as a woman who appreciates Davey's Instagram feed, I'm gonna tell you that I don't want to listen to him talk. I just want you to know that, like, I will mute that nigga's videos and just watch.
But you know, as a rap fan, I don't know a Dave East song that really resonates with me.
Exactly.
I couldn't repeat a Dave East song like off the top of my head. I know he could rap.
Right.
I just don't know any of his songs.
I don't even know that you know he can rap. I think that you know that he can rap in theory. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
I know he could rap.
like based
you
off
know,
of shit that you actually heard.
like ciphers and you know,
Okay.
yeah, but nothing sticks with me. Like none of it like absolutely sticks with me.
I'm more
You
in the
know?
space of like, if they're like Davies can rap, I wouldn't tell you that you're lying.
Nah, I definitely know Dave East can rap.
Like I trust Nas. I trust.
Yeah, I know Dave East can rap. Shout to the homies, Buddha and Grands. You know, I know Dave East can rap, but you know, with Young M.A, she had, first of all, Young M.A's got a song with Eminem. Okay, so talking about people don't want to work with Young M.A or whatever. Not only does she have a song with Eminem, it hit 18 on the Billboard charts. It sold a whole bunch of records, and it made her a whole bunch of money. I guarantee you, her pockets are not hurting just off of having done that song. But that and Ooh are the only things that she has anywhere near a chart. And don't get me wrong, I thought her last video was kind of dope, but the sound is stale.
Yeah, this Big Stepper joint don't sound like nothing innovative.
Exactly. She just need, and here's the thing with a lot of these artists, right? Y'all need a team with y'all. Like, it's too many rappers out here just trying to come up with the concept, and you know, like y'all need somebody to A&R y'all project. I don't know who A&Rs her projects, but y'all need to like really sit down and think about like, yo, we need a bop, like a joint that's gonna hit the streets. And that's what artists do. I still feel like Young M.A's a rapper. And it's cool. We know you can rap, man. Like you ain't gotta like keep beat me over the head. But I can literally take Young M.A's name out, insert Dave East, and be saying the same shit.
I'm saying slightly
Except
different.
she got Ooh, and that was a joint. So
I'm
she got
saying,
one up on Dave East.
I'm saying slightly different things about Davies.
I don't listen. I know he had a song with Chris Brown. I couldn't tell you anything about it after that.
He does.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I know Davies has had a song on Rap Radar at least every other week for the past 8.
It's not for lack of putting out content. The
Bless his
man
heart.
works. But listen, yo, stick with that acting thing, my G. Stick with that acting thing.
Yeah, man. Damn. You just ruined that whole thing for me. Like, because you're right. They are the same person. Okay. Rick Hyde from Benny the Butcher's Black Soprano family.
BSF, yes.
Has the second single off of the respected Sopranos Gangsta Grizzles. It's called Ricky and Fonz. Yeah, you know, again, like I enjoy that they give me 90s vibes without feeling like disingenuine, because that was part of my issue with Joey Badass for the longest. Was like Joey Badass was giving me 90s vibes, and it was like, nigga, you weren't even there. Why are you trying so hard? Like, it didn't feel authentic. It felt like he was trying to sound like the 90s.
Well, 'cause he
Um,
was definitely trying to be like he was trying to be way before his era. Like for me, he was trying to be like late '80s, early '90s
he
vibe.
was,
You know what I'm saying?
and it was
So
irksome to me
yeah, it was. It was a
because it
little.
felt like on Umbrella Academy when Five is talking to niggas like he's older than everybody in the room, and it's like, shut up, you're 12. But yeah, but no, these guys, definitely this Ricky and Fonz joint I enjoyed. It's actually the second thing, so I'm gonna go and listen to mixtape because I haven't listened to it yet because y'all know I'm anti. So the more you guys are excited about some shit, the less I'm interested.
Well, the last single, "It's Over," with him and Rick Hyde and Benny was, that came out last week. That was a bop, so I'm definitely here for that Gangsta Grills.
Gangsta Grizzle, shout to drama.
Shout to Philly.
Did y'all know I
You know
used
me
to
and
be an
Drama with the
affiliate
high
back
school
in the
together?
day?
You know me and Drama with the high school together?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I used to be an affiliate in the affiliates the other day.
I remember when that nigga had dreads and he was
The other
Muhammad
day.
Diaz I remember he had dreads and he was Muhammad Diaz DJ.
So the
Tyree.
R&B side of things is, oh no, wait, I forgot Smoke DZA got a joint. It's called Hibachi. It samples the beat from Renee, not the version of Renee that was on the Don't Be a Menace soundtrack, the
No,
version from the album.
album version.
Um, Flip De Niro handles the hook and the first verse. There's a very short list of Haitian rappers that I co-sign. Flip is on that list. I like Flip. So I definitely checked out the song. I don't think I made it to Jadakiss's verse though, because it was just a lot of it was a very slow moving song.
It's a Jadakiss verse. You
So
know
it
what that
starts with a
sounds like?
and it goes from there.
Shout out to Pyro from the Sound Mob checking in. Yeah, very typical. Very typical.
I did want to take a moment to celebrate my cultural pride right quick. Because, like I said, Flip De Niro handles the hook and the first verse on this new Smoke DZA record. And then I came across this new record by T-Mar. T-Mar is an R&B singer, and she is the flagship artist for Issa Rae's label.
Mm.
And
Yes.
she dropped a joint called Colors featuring Wale. And the first 3 bars of the song was enough for me to go be like, who is this? So I don't even think that I made it to Wale's verse because I was just very excited about the girl. I made it to Wale's verse. It was a Wale verse.
It's the Wale verse. Gotcha.
Yeah. And when we say that, just like when you said it was Jadakiss verse, it's not a bad thing. It's just, we know what you're going to give us.
Right. You know what you're going to get. You know what to expect. That's cool.
So I found that really funny because I'm surprised because I'm a lot of people's go-to Haitian. And so whenever they come across anything Haiti related, it always ends up in my DMs 10 times because 10 different people feel like I'm the Haitian with whom they like to share Haitian things. So I'm surprised that nobody sent me a link to this Mac Hami album. But I heard plenty about it this week.
Is Mac Hami Haitian?
Mac Hami is Haitian.
Okay.
And last year when they were like, yeah, you got to check him out, I was like, for why? Because he's Haitian. Y'all don't understand that does not move me. Like, that's not enough.
Right. It's like people say something like, yo, he's from Philly. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give me something else. You got to give me a song. You got to give me something. So apparently,
that makes me less likely to listen to it.
When so Mac Hami had a song called Wap Konjoj. Wap Konjoj is a phrase that I feel like I never heard in Haiti, but that Haitian American parents used as ad nauseum, and it basically means like keep playing, you about to find out something. Like you about to see, keep playing. So apparently, when WAP came out, Mac Hami has a song called WAP Konjoj, and that one kind of started trending, or people were tweeting about it or whatever. He followed that up with the release of an album called Max Hard Lemonade. He took over the title account. Like, it was a whole big thing behind it. So the project features Earl Sweatshirt, Earl Droog, and a couple of other people who I don't know. But the title team, which extends to the Rap Radar family, because y'all know Elliot Wilson is part of the editorial team over at Tidal, they were really, really, really behind this project.
from North too. I might have to check him out.
Um, algorithm didn't get what I was saying. Telling me he's Haitian ain't gonna be what's gonna push me.
No, Tommy Haitian is dope.
Right. I feel like I know Parker though. Anyway, back to this music. So yeah, so now I gotta go check out Nakami because I'm intrigued. Um, on the R&B side, we got a couple of names that we haven't seen in a minute, and then we got a new toxicity anthem that I don't be realizing that I'm part of the patriarchy until songs like "All Mine" by They come out, and I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed the energy. And then Ciz came in and told me that it was toxic. Ciz.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel.
He's talking. The song is talking about his ex's
Yeah,
being
some of
all
us,
his forever.
some of us don't let our exes go. I'm one of those. Well, I was one of those people. My girlfriend to tell you I'm still one of those people, but I was one of those people. So, and I mean, you've been in a relationship where you had somebody, y'all broke up, and then after that, y'all still like, even though she with another dude or whatever, y'all still go anywhere from being really close to still smanging every once in a while. You know,
Yo,
it
you all bring
happens.
Turquoise Jeep back on your own.
And I'm a huge fan of Turquoise Jeep, man. Like that's one of my two goals in life, live wise, is to see Mark Rebier and Turquoise Jeep.
I enjoy Turquoise Jeep. Alrighty. So Omarion came back with a new dance battle record. That's exactly what it sounds like. If you can see it,
That's
that's
exactly
exactly what
what
the
he's
record
doing
sounds
all
like.
the time.
It sounds like Angry Touch. Like I told Ciz, I got halfway through Omarion's first verse. Angry Touch sounds really bad.
It does sound like it.
I got halfway through Omarion's first verse and I was like, there's so much love and hip hop happening here.
Oh my god, it's like Icebox beat battle. Like it's just like, why are you so mad? Who are you mad at? Like what's going on, bro?
It's literally the part from a You Got Served type movie where like the main character finally comes across that one thing that pisses him off enough to move him into action. Like that one climactic point in the story that changes, of course, the whole thing. But it was cool that apparently a group of dancers in LA came together and said, "Hey, we want to make this video about using your song allegedly." I don't buy it. The way it looks is I don't buy it. I think they put the call out and they let the dancers come up with their own treatment for the video.
Right.
But there's definitely a disclaimer at the beginning that's like, I wanted to give the world the energy of dancing. And the dancer community made this video. They looked very, very organized and put together.
Yeah, definitely. The T-Pain, doing his part.
Yeah, T-Pain is on there. And then speaking of another like older and slightly less old pairing, Neo and Jeremiah got a new song called You to Love. It's like the All Mine record, but before the breakup.
Right.
And a little bit more simpish because it's Neo.
Every time I hear Jeremiah now, I just wonder why My Tai wasn't a bigger album.
Yo, Jeremiah is so talented, but he's a big.
That was him and Ty. Like him and Ty, like yeah,
that's what it is.
It's like him and Ty Dolla had an album, and it just sonically it was all there. I just don't know why the album didn't catch fire.
From the whole debacle with him and Tiana Taylor going on tour, I feel like we know why Jeremiah is not making it where he's supposed to be because he's super like Jeremiah is very talented.
I've been in the room with Jeremiah, and the energy. He's one of the very creative people, but the energy is very much like I don't know. It was very weird. Like on a hood level, like it was, he just not my type of people. Unless he's your type of people. And when I say that, I mean like he don't look like somebody that fuck with people unless he fuck with people. You know what I'm saying? And he
I
looked
get
very
it.
unimpressed by anything else. So, he's from Chicago. Like, sometimes those places make us like that.
He's from Chicago. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. That makes it make sense. Salam Remy went and got Teacher Moses and D Nice to make a song
Mm,
called Black Love.
okay.
And Teacher Moses was actually a client of mine at one point. Was it Teacher? Shit. That's where Teacher Moses is at for me. Like Teacher Moses, no, it wasn't Teacher Moses. It was the other girl. I forget her name. I'm gonna tell you. But yeah, Teacher Moses, like that song just really feels like they were trying to make it happen and it just didn't.
Yeah, she like came and we thought like, oh, okay, but then she just kind of fell into the pool of other R&B singers.
Um, yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Teacher Moses I was thinking about. I was thinking about the other girl. Uh, anyway, it wasn't that. The song Vivian Green is what I was thinking about. But they're kind of in the same lane. Like, really, the only reason why we like Teacher Moses a little bit more is because she was signed to Maybach Music for a moment, and really because that whole skit off of the Separate But Equal Gangsta Grills, where they're like, Teacher Moses, goddamn. That's really like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's why y'all fuck with it. Okay, we got to speak this up a little bit. We're lolly. We're just strolling through music. Lecrae has a new record called Zombie, also, which I thought was really good. And I'm leaning into this Machine Gun Kelly as a rock star.
Yo, listen, I am all the way here for it. After what I've heard, I'm excited for a project, and I'll actually listen to it often. It's good. It's really good.
He dropped a new record called My Ex's Best Friend.
With Black Bear,
Yeah.
and it's really good. I mean, every joint that he's jumped on, the collaboration was natural. The vibes are good. They're also very nostalgic, and he sounds like he belongs there.
Yes.
I'm all here
It
for
doesn't sound like he's
multi-talented
forcing it at
folks.
all.
No, not at all. Not one bit.
All right, new music. Talk really quickly. That things that came out. We talked about Nakami. Popcorn dropped the mixtape last week, and it was a big deal because Popcorn got on live with Drake, and Drake did his best Chet Hanks impression.
Whoa, yo.
Yard man,
Whoa,
Aubrey. Yard
Listen,
bomba clat man, Aubrey.
you know, Drake is beefing with Movado, who's also beefing with Popcorn. So
I feel like Drake should just sit down and let Popcorn and Movado beef and not get involved.
oh, you got to ride with your mans in them. You know,
Sometimes
I
you just
just
gotta sit out the way.
I just hope people knew that. Like that's why Drake is beefing with Movado. It's not
Oh,
really
so
even
the
because of
reason
that.
behind the beef.
Well, one of the things is also that they used to be kind of they had a joint venture that fell out a
Right,
couple
with
years back.
Movado.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with Movado and Drake, and it's been kind of like
shaky
bad
ever
bloody.
since.
So maybe Drake is the reason why Movado and but Drake's in the mix. He's always in the mix.
Always in the mix.
Always somehow.
Yard bomba clat man Aubrey. Anyway, so I went and I listened to the mixtape because of that. Because Drake is on the song with, I want to say it's Party Next Door, but I could be wrong. But it was good. It gave me like a few little. It's called Fix Tape. It gave me a few little
Couple joints on
summer
there.
vibe type
No,
joints.
it's definitely a couple bops on there. If you're hard yacht man, then you'll really like fuck with it. But if you just, you're a casual reggae fan, it's a couple joints on there for you.
Yeah, and I
So
mean,
it really
if you're a
depends.
Popcorn fan, like
Right. If
Popcorn's
you're like unruly, if you like Team Unruly, then it's for you. If not, then grab a couple singles and keep it moving. It's funny because most people will go straight to the joints with Drake, but the ones I enjoyed the most didn't have Drake on them.
same.
So I think
Absolutely.
the joint with Masika was one of my favorites. But not the first one, and I'm just going down a chronological list. But the second Drake joint was a little bit more of a bop for me than the first one.
Yes, I
So
agree. I agree. So I heard Diddy was executive producing Burna Boy's next project, which somehow I missed that it's coming out this Friday. I didn't know that was even happening.
Yep.
It's called Twice as Tall. Mm-hmm. And I figured Diddy's involvement would make it like, hey, let's bring Burna Boy more onto the U.S. side. But I think he did that with African Giant. African Giant had a bunch of American features on it. Future was on there. YG was on there. I think I want to say Brown or somebody in that lane. This project is very much like there's no American features. Well, no, Naughty by Nature.
No, that's not true. There's two actually. You got Naughty by Nature and Coldplay.
See, I almost said Coldplay, but then I thought, isn't Chris Martin British?
Yeah, but that's still he makes American music. He used to live in Britain once upon a time.
The project features production by Timbaland and Mike Dean.
You belong to us, Chris.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, he's got Chris Martin and Naughty by Nature on there. And I was like, wait a minute. Chris Martin's not American. I'm excited about the very first song because Yo Son Dur is a very iconic French-speaking African artist from like back in the 80s. You might remember, if you remember who Nene Cherry is, you'll remember that Yo Son Dur had a song with Nene Cherry called 7 Seconds Away back in the early 90s. But he's Senegalese. Yeah, the song was called 7 Seconds. It came out in 1994. And it featured Nene Cherry. You have to be that old to know any of those names. In any case, I'm really excited to hear that. And that's coming out on Friday. Stormzy is also on there.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I'm glad that it's him and not Wiley because,
I'm glad.
Oh, Wiley.
Guess who else is coming out with something?
This week?
Dave East.
Download that.
Dave East. And look, I mean, okay. Dave East is dropping Karma 3. Did you hear Karma 1 and 2?
No.
Dave East has a song with Popcorn, speaking of him, called Unruly. He's got Trey Songz. He's got Trouble. He's got A Boogie. He's got Doughboy. He's got 2 joints with Jazzy. He's got Young Dolph. He's got Bino. He's got
y'all gonna love him.
Benny the Butcher. And he's got a joint with Mary J. Blige.
Dave East, y'all gonna fuck with me, goddamn.
Listen, he's like, I'm gonna get a single out of this motherfucker. Because out of 15 tracks,
I'm gonna make you love me.
What's that? 13 with notable features.
I'm gonna make you love me, baby.
So, yeah. Dave, listen, keep trying, Dave. I'm here for it, dog. Something gonna stick.
Jay Versace and Boldy James dropping the Versace tape. I'm trying to understand if this is the same Jay Versace from Instagram. But no, I think he spells his name different.
It's not the guy from Saturday Night Live.
No, that's Jay Farrow.
There you go.
Guap Dad also dropping Platinum Falcon Returns on Friday. Jordan Sparks coming out on Friday.
So are we going to just make this Platinum Falcon album? Because I like the first 6. So can we just do that? Put it together? Thanks. In advance.
Oh, the last EP that he did was 6 songs also?
It was the Platinum Falcon. Yeah, I believe so.
I enjoy him so much. Young Dolph is dropping Rich Slave. And like I said, giving away a Lamborghini to make y'all give a fuck about it. And Tech Nine has a project coming out. More Fear, an EP. Tech Nine is one of those people where like he lets the rest of y'all motherfuckers know that he's dropping music, but really Tech Nine's not making music for any of us. He has his audience. They fuck with him tough. They always support. He doesn't need any of the rest of us.
I feel like I should know who Jacob Collier is.
Do you?
But whoever he is, he's got a joint with Jesse Reyes and T-Pain. He's got Kimbra and Tank, Daniel Caesar, Mahalia, Ty Dolla $ign, Kiana Lede, Tori Kelly, and Rhapsody.
Shit, maybe we should
on his track. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be listening to Jacob Collier this week. Are you going to be listening to Jordan Sparks?
Jacob Collier is an English musician whose music incorporates elements from many musical genres and often features extreme use of reharmonization.
Sounds good to me.
He
I'm checking.
popped. He got discovered from a split screen video cover of "Don't You Worry About a Thing" by Stevie Wonder back in 2012. He is 26 years old and has already won a Grammy for Best Arrangement,
Don't you worry
instrumental or
about
a cappella.
it. Okay.
And he did a Tiny Desk in July of last year, and a Tiny
Wow.
Desk home concert in July of this year. So clearly, we late to the party.
Clearly, but that's cool. It's never too late to get on it. Well, yeah. Are you going to be listening to Jordan Sparks? Is she still a thing?
Jordan Sparks was. I was always Jordan Sparks was. I'm a little too old, so she was never really a thing for me. I enjoyed No Air, but like I wasn't a Jordan Sparks. Like I'm a fan of Jordan Sparks in like who she is and what she represents, but other than No Air, I couldn't tell you another song. And I'll tell you this: No Air has one of the best harmonies of like a commercially released record in a minute. It's a great song.
Here's a funny thing. So Jordan Sparks' second most popular song on Genius is the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
So
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Wow, I see Big Time Rush. Jesus, that takes me back.
What year is this? Okay. Is this the same Kevin Ross that was Kevin Ross from the Bay Area? Is that who's dropping Audacity Volume 2 this week? I'm trying to see. Yes, him.
It is.
He's not from the Bay Area. He's from DC. But I know a bunch of his people, and they're all from the Bay Area, so that's what I thought, maybe.
See, Maryland Classic Soul, Contemporary R&B. He signed to Motown 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, little R&B vibes.
He dropped Audacity Volume 1 earlier this year, and now he's coming back with Audacity Volume 2. And next week...
Wait. Gotta talk about Cash Page. Cash Page, the Dallas lady in charge currently.
Oh.
Getting talent out there doing her thing. Drops Teenage Fever featuring Don Tolliver, K Camp, Isaiah Rashad, 42 Doug, and SSG Kobe. Also with production from my little brother Vaughn Beats and a bunch of other dope people out there in Dallas. Cash Page, Teenage Fever. Make sure y'all check that out. We'll be popping those credits up for you, hopefully. As long as she's not on Atlantic. As long as she's not on Atlantic.
I'm gonna make sure that I check that out. And all right, so now we can talk about how your big bro said that he's tired of y'all niggas saying that he can't pick beats. So he's just gonna let Hit Boy make all his beats for a project.
I hope this goes well.
It should, right?
We're talking about Nas, by the way. I hope this goes well.
We're talking about Nas, you guys.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll go well?
In theory, it goes well. Tremendous respect for Hit Boy, amazing talent, super dope dude, crazy production. Obviously, I'm a Nas hater, and I'm a Nas hater fan. I'm a Nas hater fan. I'm a frenemy of Nas.
Really?
Yeah, me and Nas, we got a weird relationship.
Tell me about it.
So
you love calling me a hater, so I want to hear all about this. Look at me.
I just expect a lot. Like with great power comes great responsibility. With great talent comes great responsibility. And I feel like Nas is not always giving me or giving us, the fans, things that are worthy of his stature or lyrical ability.
So you feel like Nas let Nas down?
Nas definitely let Nas down a lot. Now, Nas is giving me some amazing things, like his first 2 albums and Stillmatic. And a couple joints here and there in between, even God's Son. But man, he took me through some dark periods, man. I had to deal with KISSING and You Owe Me and stuff like that. So, I had to deal with him trying to rap double time. That didn't work too well either. So,
which one? Big Things?
I had to deal. Oh no, that was even before that.
I enjoyed Big Things. I don't know why.
This was on Nostradamus.
But that was
I
after
think
Big Things then.
I think it was the record with Robert, perhaps.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, Nas is like, if it was a batting average, Nas would be like 3 for 20 or 4 for 20 or something. You know, and then he gave us a little excitement with the whole Jay-Z thing, but after that, you went back and made a joint with Kanye, and it was terrible. So you know, it's just you never know what you're gonna get, but you hope, and this is where the beat argument comes from. Like he picks whoever picks his joints. It's just like, and you expect it because a lot of times he's done stuff with dope producers, and it just didn't work. Like the Lost Tapes, he got a bunch of fire joints on part two. But it's like, I mean, he's got a bunch of fire producers in name. It's like, that's what you did? I think sometimes
Let me correct that. Not dope joints.
but
That's
sometimes
definitely not what we're talking about.
sometimes he picks beats that he just can't really fuck with. Like, or he tries to like be somebody who he's not, and it doesn't go. Like one of the things about Hove and Big, and they could switch up the flow, get on different beats, get on different styles. Like you get like, Then Dangerous, like they, you get a Big Pimpin', you get all these records and they don't sound like a fish out of water. Nas sounds like a fish out of water on a lot of tracks. And it just sounds awkward, and it comes off as that wasn't the beat. It's not saying that he uses white producers; he don't. But it's not always the best beat for whatever it is he was trying to do. And it's been that case more than not throughout his career. So it's like, man, I got a lot of great Nas joints to listen to, but I got a shit ton of Nas joints I just would never listen
to. Yeah, I don't
highest of the high, lowest of the low. You know what I mean? But I mean, is he a GOAT? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But he got a lot of trash in that catalog. Sorry, y'all.
Yo, so right now, Google, for whatever reason, because you never know why these things happen, but there's some kind of what's the word that I'm looking for? Activation happening on your phone if you Google Cha Cha Slide.
What?
Yes. So just go, when you get a second, just go Google Cha Cha Slide in your phone and then press the emojis that pop up. Anyway, so yeah, next week, Nas and Hit Boy is dropping the project. I don't think we have a name. I don't think we know if it's an EP or an album. But on Monday, Nas said that would be dropping next week. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a single out of it tomorrow or something.
Oh. Okay.
Look, don't do it right now.
Okay. That's
cute,
cool.
Right?
That's cute. Look at Google.
Cute.
Reverse.
And we might not get a Kanye album at all, and he might get investigated for voter fraud, and you love to see it.
I don't want to talk about him at all.
We're not talking about him. We're done. Show's done. Show's done. What are you looking forward to this week out of all the projects that we said? You know which one I'm trying to listen to.
Dave East, right?
Right. Yup. That's it.
I'm definitely looking forward to Burna Boy and Guap Dad. I'm actually going to tap into Kane Brown. I'm going to try to do Kane Brown and Cash Page. And yeah.
I'm actually going to check out this Dave East. I'm going to see.
I really want to be there.
Because, if he was a woman and he was being objectified by men the way that I'm objectifying him, I would have something to say about it.
Well, at least you're good enough. You are a woman enough to admit when you're trash.
That I'm being a whole predator. I'm going to stop judging that young man by his appearance and entertain the possibility that he is quite talented and could entertain my ears as well as my eyes.
I just hope that throwing a whole bunch of features on there works for him.
It's very interesting though. Like, do you think that these are paid features? Do you think these are relationship established features?
I think Dave has good relationships in the music industry. I think everybody around him has good relationships. I think people like Dave East, like genuinely. People want Dave East to succeed. Dave East does everything the right way. Dave East travels. He's out here like he's a regular, personable dude. Every interaction, a person I know who's been around Dave East got nothing but good things to say about the homie. And I know a lot of like the homies. You know, I've been through like Harlem, and you know, a lot of cats that came up with him. But you know, it just these types of things are definitely relationships. I mean, you know, he's out in LA doing his thing, but it's funny because the one the one thing I can say about every feature on here is these are real people. These aren't like just industry people. You know, even Mary's always been known for her realism and just like being down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Benny the Butcher, Young Dolph. Like these ain't just like he didn't just go for the shiny names. These are people that you could actually see him hanging out with. Popcorn. Like you could see him in the section with him, you know, going crazy at the club. Like I could really see him hanging out with all these people. And Jazzy, who's a super dope, super talented songwriter artist, also like I know
That's cool as
how
fuck.
she gets down too. So you can really see like how these folks could interact with Dave in a really natural way. I mean, we all seen the COVID picture of that's what I call it, of Dave and our boy J. Cole linking up on the street corner in in LA, and I was just wondering where the masks were. But you
Mm.
know, you can see like he out there. You know, he out there, he working. He's doing his thing. He's doing everything he needs to do except deliver the record. And that's why
Wow.
I'm just hoping that it comes. I'm hoping that it's in these 15. I hope that it's in here. You know.
Hopefully.
Ironically, the three songs that they know anything about are the three songs that don't have anybody on them. So maybe they were the ones that released Handsome, Menace, Believe It or Not. No, we don't believe it yet, Dave.
You
Sorry.
sounded like me this morning, sis. You sounded like me this morning.
Brought to you by coffee.
Brought to you by coffee. I'm about to go make a second cup. All right, you guys. As always, he is at Scissor215 on. Actually, no. Before I do all of that, as you may know by now, on episode 32, the chopping block was inspired and will one day bring back to life two very very popular things that we used to do on the internet. One is the chopping block, where we break down album new releases track by track and review them that way. And obviously, we weren't going to sit on this podcast and do that for you guys because that would be fun, but also kind of weird if you can't listen to music. And also the credit check, which is the most comprehensive listing of album credits you will find on these here InstaWebs. Shouts to Michelangelo, shouts to Young Darren, shouts to Ciz.
And which now lives on freemusiccredits.com.
Really? Well, there you go. Look at that, guys. Check him out, guys. And he is at Scissor215 on all social media platforms.
And she is at Saint Boogie, except for Facebook, where she is Tai St. Louis.
Your girl Saint Boogie. If you go to facebook.com/your girl.
Okay, so that's the actual URL of it.
Yep, okay. That's it. Or you can search Tai St. Louis. But if you see my full name, don't add me because I won't accept it.
That's not the one. Y'all have a beautiful weekend.
And the show is at the Chop Block Pod on everything except for Instagram. It's at Chop Block Pod on Instagram.
Shouts to our favorite follow. Our favorite Puerto Rican anatomy.
I don't know if I'll give him favorite, but I do love him.
Yeah, it's fair. I tried to take him to Puerto Rico. He turned me down. So
what? Why?
Yes. I don't know. Long story.
Ah man, I was listening to Bad Bunny Pay Fucking Edit the other day.
I want to be in a club in Puerto Rico listening to Bad Bunny. I just hope it's I want to bring back that vibe in Miami that we had at the club.
Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what you're going to get. Anyway, you guys, this is the longest episode of the show that we have ever done. So we out. Have a good weekend. Wash your hands. Stay away from them German people.
Peace.